Babe Ruth, the great baseball player. Babe Ruth was a famous baseball player. He was born on February 6, 1895, in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. His real name was George Herman Ruth Jr., but people called him Babe Ruth. He is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Early life. Babe Ruth had a tough childhood. His family was poor. His parents sent him to a school for boys when he was 7 years old. This school was St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys. It was a place for boys who had problems. At this school, Babe Ruth learned how to play baseball. A teacher named Brother Matthias taught him. Brother Matthias saw that Babe was good at baseball. He encouraged Babe to practice a lot. Becoming a professional player. When Babe Ruth was 19 years old, he started playing baseball professionally. He joined a team called the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles were a minor league team, but soon he was noticed by the Boston Red Sox, a major league team. The Red Sox bought Babe Ruth in 1914. At first, Babe Ruth was a pitcher. A pitcher is the player who throws the ball to the batter. Babe was a very good pitcher. He helped the Red Sox win the World Series in 1915, 1916, and 1918. The World Series is the championship game of baseball. The New York Yankees. In 1920, Babe Ruth was sold to the New York Yankees. This was a big change in his life. Babe Ruth became an outfielder with the Yankees. An outfielder is a player who catches balls hit by the other team. But Babe was best known for hitting home runs. A home run is when a player hits the ball so far that they can run around all four bases without getting out. Babe Ruth was amazing at hitting home runs. He set a record by hitting 54 home runs in 1920. This was more home runs than any other player had ever hit in a single season. In 1921, he broke his own record by hitting 59 home runs. Babe Ruth became a hero to many people. Fans loved to watch him play. Achievements. Babe Ruth did many great things in baseball. He helped the Yankees win the World Series in 1923, 1927, 1928, and 1932. In 1927, Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in one season. This was a record that lasted for 34 years. Babe Ruth's powerful hitting changed the game of baseball. Before him, baseball was more about strategy and skill. But after Babe Ruth, it became more about power and excitement. Babe Ruth was not just a great hitter. He was also a good team player. He always tried to help his team win. People loved him because he was fun to watch. He had a big personality, and he enjoyed making people happy. Later years. Babe Ruth played his last game for the Yankees in 1934. He then played a few games for the Boston Braves in 1935. After that, he retired from baseball. He had played for 22 seasons and hit 714 home runs in his career. This was the most home runs any player had hit at that time. After retiring, Babe Ruth wanted to be a manager. A manager is like a coach for the team, but no team gave him the chance. Even though he didn't become a manager, Babe Ruth stayed involved in baseball. He helped young players and gave advice. Personal life. Babe Ruth was married twice. His first wife was Helen Woodford. They got married in 1914. They adopted a daughter named Dorothy. Sadly, Helen died in a fire in 1929. In 1929, Babe Ruth married his second wife, Claire Hodgson. They had a happy life together. Babe also had a second daughter with Claire, named Julia. Babe Ruth loved children. He often visited sick children in hospitals. He gave them gifts and tried to make them smile. He also gave money to help children and families who were poor. People admired him not just for his baseball skills, but also for his kindness. Legacy. Babe Ruth died on August 16, 1948. He was 53 years old. He had cancer and he fought it for a long time. Even after he died, people remembered him. They called him the Sultan of Swat and the Bambino. These were nicknames that showed how great he was. Babe Ruth changed baseball forever. He made it more popular and exciting. Many players today look up to him as a role model. In 1936, Babe Ruth was one of the first 5 players to be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. This is a special place that honors the best baseball players. Conclusion. Babe Ruth was more than just a baseball player. He was a legend. He showed that with hard work and determination,